Hello and welcome to World News Today. Here are the top breaking stories for you. Defending President Trump is getting more difficult for Republicans. More whistleblowers emerge in Ukraine problem. US prepares to withdraw from northern Syria before Turkish operation. Inside Chinese camps thought to be detaining a million Muslim Uyghurs. If the House does impeach President Trump, it would be up to the Republican-controlled Senate to decide whether he is removed from office. Just a handful of Republicans have raised concerns over the president's contacts with foreign leaders, but there does not seem to be a unified defense of the president. Privately, some Republicans say it just isn't worth it to take him on even if they disapproves of his actions, reports CBS News' Nancy Cordes. One reason why the president hits back and his approval rating within the Republican Party is strong. The latest Gallup poll, which was taken as reports of the president's call to Ukraine unfolded, came in at 87%. Maine Senator Susan Collins is one of the few Republicans willing to call the president out, also telling the Bangor Daily News, "I thought the president made a big mistake by asking China to get involved in investigating a political opponent." Nebraska Republican Ben Sasse responded, "Americans don't look to Chinese commies for truth," and Utah's Mitt Romney called the president's plea wrong and appalling. Mr. Trump responded by calling Romney a pompous ass and a bunch of other things. Still, most Republicans have downplayed Mr. Trump's actions or stayed silent, but defending him has gotten more difficult. "I doubt if the China comment was serious, to tell you the truth," Republicans said. Roy Blunt said on Face the Nation this Sunday, asked if he doesn't take the president at this word. Blunt said the president was no. The president loves to go out on the White House driveway. "I haven't talked to him about this. I don't know what the president was thinking, but I know he loves to bait the press." During a heated interview on Meet the Press Sunday, Republican Sen. Ron Johnson also struggled to defend the president, saying that the reason he winced when he heard about military aid being tied to Ukrainian investigation was because "I didn't want those connected. When I asked the president about that, he completely denied it." He adamantly denied it. A congressional source tells CBS News that Gordon Sondland, the former U.S. ambassador to the European Union, who also pushed Ukraine to investigate the Bidens, will appear for a closed-door deposition Tuesday. Sondland was one of several people whose text messages revealed just how much pressure the Trump administration put on Ukraine to investigate a company linked to former Vice President Joe Biden's son. The attorneys representing the whistleblower who filed a complaint about President Trump's dealings with Ukraine said they are representing multiple whistleblowers in connection to the case, including one with first-hand knowledge of events. "I can confirm that my firm and my team represent multiple whistleblowers in connection to the underlying August 12, 2019 disclosure to the Intelligence Community Inspector General Attorney Andrew Bakaj tweeted Sunday. No further comment at this time. Mark Zaid, another member of the first whistleblower's legal team, also said the team is representing a second official with first-hand knowledge of events, as first reported by ABC News. The original whistleblower had not heard or seen a transcript of the phone call between Mr. Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky at the center of the August 12 complaint. "I can confirm this report of a second whistleblower being represented by our legal team," Zaid tweeted. "They also made a protected disclosure under the law and cannot be retailed against. This waiver has first-hand knowledge." The US military has moved its forces away from the Turkish border with northern Syria after the White House said Sunday night that Turkey would soon begin an operation in a part of northern Syria where it wants to resettle Syrian refugees, and the US forces would not be there to help or stop them. The US has not received orders to commence a large-scale withdrawal from the region, remaining in a wait-and-see position, according to a US official with direct knowledge of the situation. In a statement issued late Sunday, the White House said Turkey would soon be moving forward with its long-planned operation in northern Syria and that the United States would not be involved. The statement was issued after Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan spoke by phone with President Donald Trump earlier on Sunday. Trump remained defiant on the matter, tweeting Monday, "The Kurds fought with us but were paid massive amounts of money and equipment to do so. They have been fighting Turkey for decades. I held off this fight for almost 3 years, but it is the time for us to get out of these ridiculous endless wars, many of them tribal, and bring our soldiers home. We will fight where it is to our benefit and only fight to win," he continued. A US official with direct knowledge of the situation in northern Syria, who wanted to remain anonymous because they were not authorized to speak on record, confirmed to NBC News on Monday. The US military said this Turkish operation could be launched at any time, but American forces have currently cut all ties and coordination with the Turkish military, so they don't expect any advance warning from Turkey as to when or how things operation will begin. In a classroom in a far western China, a dozen adults wearing a white lab coats sit at a long table, textbook on animal husbandry open in front of them. The din of chickens and geese and a bucolic mewl of cows believe the fact that the students are in one of a vast network of camps in Xinjiang, a region that is home to more than 10 million Muslim Uyghurs. Around 10% of the Uyghur population of Xinjiang is locked up, according to the US government and human rights organizations. The Chinese Communist Party maintains these centers are a crucial part of its efforts to counter terror, extremism, and separatism. Bu Axmelu Abuzali, director of the Moyu Country Vocational Education and Training Center in Hotan Prefecture in the southwestern corner of Xinjiang, made it clear the role of the centers is to change the minds and thoughts of those who are forced to live there. If we leave the terrorism thoughts to be developed, it is very easy to have riots or other issues. We prevent this from happening, he told NBC News in early September. Our center is to prevent terrorism thoughts from happening. International rights groups charge that Chinese authorities are actually engaging in mass arbitrary detention, torture, and mistreatment of Uyghurs in Xinjiang. Human Rights Watch, a non-profit group based in New York, has alleged rampant abuses, including torture and unfair trials of the population. Gay McDougall, a member of the United Nations Committee on the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, accused China last year of turning Xinjiang into something resembling a massive internment camp that is shrouded in secrecy, a sort of no-rights zone. The Chinese government gave NBC News rare access to 3 of what it calls vocational education and training centers, where they say Uyghurs receive lessons in law and culture, Mandarin, and skills like shopkeeping, hospitality, animal husbandry, and e-commerce. Government minders brought NBC News to 2 camps in Hutan Prefecture and 1 in Kashgar, in and northwest of province. NBC spoke to the director of each camp, and Uyghur detainees were made available for interviews, always with government and camp officials present. At the camps, NBC News visited dormitories were spacely furnished with few personal possessions. Some classrooms were equipped with computers and other with musical instruments. It is impossible to know whether conditions in the camps were changed or improved for the purpose of NBC's visit, or whether conditions in other camps are similar. The government did not answer NBC News questions on how many centers there are in the region, how many people have passed through them or how many are currently being held there. The Australian Strategic Policy Institute, a non-partisan think tank, estimates that there are 143 camps currently detaining Uyghurs. In front of Minders, farmer Abiliza Hijabullah admitted his wrongdoing. As a Chinese citizen, I have broke Chinese laws and regulations. I committed a crime. I betrayed my country. I broke the law and was not grateful for the good policies. The 41-year-old farmer, who was imprisoned for 6 years of preaching separatism, said Hizbullah, who spoke with NBC News during a class in animal husbandry, said he had been released from prison and sent to the camp where he had spent a year. That's all from now. Hope you enjoyed our coverage. We'll see you later. Thank you very much.